When did you and Terry, how did you guys meet?
We were put together by an educational publisher right at the beginning of my writing career in 1992, where I'd published all these silly little instructions for playing practical jokes and little fragments of dreams and little anecdotes and memories, and they weren't stories as such, they were just fragments. And this educational publisher said, oh, if you put some writing exercises with it, we can market it to schools as a creative writing book. And we'll get this really funny guy called Terry Denton to illustrate it for you. So he came on board, and that book was called Swinging on the Clothesline. And the very first illustration, it was just a bunch of kids swinging on the clothesline at high speed and flying off into space, which is what I was recommending in one of the stories, How to Annoy Your Parents, swinging on the clothesline really fast. And so he picked it up and just took it to, you know, from ordinary backyard to out into the imaginative world of wherever you want to go. So I knew he was, you know, my illustrator.
Yeah.
And he said to me at the time, oh, I really liked doing your stuff. It was really chaotic and full of anarchy, and I don't get that from any other writer. And he said, you should publish a book of fiction. That's the first Just Tricking.
Oh, mate, yeah, cool.
I don't know if you've ever seen this cover. It's it was a joke cover for the very first edition, and it really says the wonderful world of freshwater fish, and Andy has come across and written Just Tricking over the top, and crossed Sir Andrew Griffiths out and written Andy. And then I did a really elaborate blurb on the back where it changes it from a book about fish to a book about jokes.
Nice.
And it was one of the best pieces of writing I've ever done. And everyone's like, what? What is it a book about fish or who? Where? Thing was, Terry was in the margins there, and I just said, just do flick pictures and just be silly in the margins that the gatekeepers couldn't even see. You know.
He did. He felt subversive, naughty. It's like I'm sure there are many kids out there who would think, as they're reading it, I can't believe I'm allowed to sort of to do this. The whole thing, I found the verb very theatrical. It's very easy to imagine. I mean, it's such an incredibly imaginative space that you created in those books, but it's very easy to imagine them on stage and how affecting that would be for kids. That's why it's made it quite simplistic to sort of get them up into the real world. Do you enjoy watching your own work on stage?
I do, because I get to see it from the outside. Because it's a bit like when we're first writing the stories, there can be a lot of hilarity as you're coming up with the outlandishness and can we get away with this? Yeah, well, let's try. Yeah. And then we rewrite obsessively for a year, really, for each book.
Yeah.
And every pass, you're not laughing hilariously at each joke. You're just making sure it's a beautiful flow of action, and by the end of a book, we're always convinced this is a really good book, but it's not as funny as the others, because we're so used to the jokes at this point. But when it comes out, the kids will get each joke fresh and exploding like firecrackers. And that's how I feel when I'm watching it in an audience. I can see it coming back at me in a way that I didn't anticipate. It's not too hard for me to imagine what's going to go down well in front of 500 overexcited children. That'll be my acid test for a lot of things. I'll go, yeah, but I don't think that wouldn't protect me in front of children.
Kids don't lie. They don't hold back.
That's right, and I love that, and I've always invited that feedback.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Andy.
It's a pleasure. It's lovely to talk to you.